reeling it real slow and ticking off the grass. All bites are coming when just you get hung on the grass and you just kind of rip it off there real slow, and they kill it right then. I'm using Berkeley fire line, which has no stretch and has a lot of feel. I can feel that grass. I can feel right when the spinnerbait gets on that grass, and it rips off the grass a lot easier. So I don't tend to hang up in the grass near as much as a lot of the fishermen are that are using regular monofilament. So I think that might also be a key to getting some extra bites. But you know, I think the whole thing is slowly working an area that's producing big fish. There's one section of that grass bed that it seems to be holding bigger fish, and that's a section that 3 or 4 of us are working. Stop it.
And at the second day weigh-in, Paul stands to move up.
Look here, people. Watch what happens. We may have a new leader here. 16 pounds, 10 ounces, mark it, and send him to the shower. Paul, that's good.
But the stringer of the day belongs to Dan Moorhead of Paducah, Kentucky.
18 pounds, 14 ounces. Ho! I got to ask you though. You've taken this thing, the biggest string of the tournament. How many bass total did you catch today?
I caught a conservative, probably 5 limits. It was an incredible day. My partner's got a good bag of fish too.
5 limits. That's 25 bass. You can bet the Bassmaster camera crews will be right beside Dan Moorhead tomorrow to find out what he's doing.
How come the leading oil filter material stops less dirt than Mobil 1's filter material? That's how come the Mobil 1 oil filter. Nothing stops dirt better. Available at AutoZone or call for the retailer nearest you.
So you're building that deck with Time Life to help you along. You might want to add some built-in benches, page 50. How about a brick patio, guaranteed weed-proof, and a lot easier on your checkbook than some contractor would be.
Now with Home Repair, you get 2 books for $2. Order decks, porches, and patios for just $1.99 and get kitchens free.
Those new countertops sure look good, and doing it yourself probably saved a bundle. So you could do that built-in recycling bin she wanted. Step by step, Time Life makes it easy.
With Home Repair, you get professional results at do-it-yourself prices. Use your credit card to order decks for just $1.99 and get kitchens free.
Home Repair makes you a real hero around the house. So why don't you give them a call? They'd probably love to hear from you.
Call 1-800-779-8484 to get 2 books for only $2. Use your credit card to order decks, porches, and patios, and you'll get kitchens free. Or send check or money order for $1.99 plus $3.95 shipping to the address on your screen.
Even though you haven't seen the name Dan Moorhead on top the leaderboard much, watch out for this young Kentucky pro. Dan's jumped ahead of the pack here on the Potomac and leads Denny Brower and Kevin Van Dam, but by an uncomfortably small margin. With over 25 keepers to his credit yesterday, Dan's onto something different, which is our third lesson on tackling tidal water. Bass change position with the tide. Every 6 hours, the tide raises and lowers the river's water level. So 4 times every day, bass are forced to relocate based on fluctuating water levels.
These fish have been migrating off of a big milfoil grass flat out in front of the creek here out the mouth, and they'll just migrate back in as the tides come in. And they're just cruising. There's several individual grass spoils or just large clumps of milfoil, and they isolate on them and make them a little more easier to catch. You know, it's a good ambush point. And I've just been kind of coming in here and letting them catch what I can, then wait 20 or 30 minutes, and a new group of fish will move in. And I try to take advantage of it for the high tide, and then the first hour of outgoing tide. And then after that, you just start following the fish back out towards the grass flat. And then on low tide out there, you can get out over the top of the milfoil and throw a little crankbait, and it's been working really well. So right now it's just kind of a waiting game. I'm trying to catch what I can catch until the tide gets right, and then hopefully I can get the bites I really need to win. There's one.
Dan Moorhead has his first bass on. Dan's fishing a spinnerbait on the high tide back in this backwater area. He's primarily targeting isolated wood cover and grass clumps. This is a small pocket in the very back end of this creek. There's barely enough room for 2 boats back here. Dan's trying to pick off a few fish early from this backwater spot on high tide, but like he said, he's in a waiting game. And what he's waiting for is the low tide, when these bass will stack up on the milfoil bed just outside this pocket. That's a good first fish for Dan on a spinnerbait. He's using a Stanley Vibershaft spinnerbait, but he's made a couple of modifications to the lure.
It's a 3/8 ounce. I've modified the bait completely. I've put a 3.5 fluorescent orange Colorado blade in front of a 4.5 Indiana gold blade. It's a Hildebrand blade. The muddier water, the vibration seems to trigger the fish or call them out of the grass somewhat. And the fluorescent orange blade, it just seems to trigger a few more strikes.
Dan Moorhead switched to a topwater now. He's still fishing grass clumps and isolated wood cover in this backwater area. This is a good keeper he's caught on a topwater plug. The tide is starting to go out now, and Dan's next move will be out to that milfoil bed where he'll switch lures to a baby 1- crankbait.
It's a really neat bait for throwing in the milfoil. It only dives about a foot deep at the very maximum, and you can take it and burn it real fast, kind of like you would a rattle trap, right over top of that milfoil, and those fish will come up out of it and just annihilate it.
Dan Moorhead has another bass on. Boy, that didn't take long. It's his first fish since he switched out to the milfoil bed here and changed his lure to the baby 1- crankbait. Dan's strategy is to throw the crankbait by these isolated clumps of milfoil, which he's using as targets.
Well, as I'm out here going out over the milfoil patch, I'm looking for spoils or large clumps of milfoil. The water's really clear, so I can see really well. And I'm just throwing that baby 1- past them and burning it, and the fish will come up from behind them, or just, you never know where they're going to come from. It's just annihilate. It's just like throwing a spinnerbait, but it's got a rattle in it and treble hooks, and just seems to work better.
Dan Moorhead is getting a reaction strike on his baby 1- crankbait, and it's working for Dan. Because the water is very clear out here in the milfoil, he's seeing most of his strikes.
Right. Well, I believe that it's a reaction bite. You can fish the bait real fast. It's got a loud rattle, but it won't go deep enough to get hung up in the grass. A spinnerbait in the clear water and the bright sunshine, they just don't seem to want it as well. They will hit a top water, but there again, they just don't seem to take the bait in as well. And this baby 1-, it's a reaction bite. It triggers them. It's one of the most aggressive strikes that you can imagine. What happens is when the tide goes out, it pulls all that water through that milfoil, and it gets crystal clear. I'd say 95% of the time I'm watching them come out there and eat it, and it's just really a fun way to fish. You're fine.
Dan Moorhead has found a unique area, especially for this week at the Potomac. This creek is loaded with 2- to 4-pound bass. Dan found the right spot, he's been patient and waited for the right time, and the payoff, well, the payoff is in the bag.
Holy smokes, 20 pounds! Oh, that's it! Oh, that is fantastic. Boy, that's what you call doing it pro style, folks. Taking the lead and holding it.
So Dan Moorhead captures his first Bassmaster Top 100 victory by a big margin. David Fritz made a 9th-inning charge to grab second. Peter Tilaveros, Denny Brower, and Kevin Van Dam all stay in the top 5. In the amateur division, local angler Mike Glazier hung on to win by a pound over Sarasota, Florida angler Mark Sabies. For his 36 pounds, 13 ounces, Mike takes home a brand new Ranger OMC bass rig valued at $20,000.
That's good fish.
Right now, it's time for the Pros Pointer, the how-to section of the Bassmasters. Brought to you by Wrangler Rugged Wear, geared for the outdoors.
In tournament angling today, culling can mean the difference of thousands of dollars. 1 ounce can mean first place or third. I've come up with a system that I use. This cull them right, and I've got 6 floats. I know I've got a 5-fish limit. I've memorized what colors that in the sequence the colors are in this machine, and I put these colors on my handrail in that exact same sequence. As I catch a fish, I quickly weigh them. It assigns a weight and a color to that fish. I put him in the tank. When I reach my 6th fish, I can hit my cull button. It'll tell me exactly which fish I need to cull. It'll also at all times tell me what my overall poundage is, and so I know where I stand as I go, and it's just a wonderful tool. For example, caught this fish real quickly. I can put it in the fish's mouth. It'll automatically clear itself, and it won't read until it has an exact reading. This fish weighs 4.9. I press enter. It assigns it the red color. I grab that float, mark him real quick. I hit my cull button. It tells me automatically that yellow 3 pounds 7 ounces is my cull fish. Quickly grab the yellow float, release this particular fish, and I'm back on the water fishing.
Isn't that a pretty sight?
So how many miles?
50? 90. 90,000 miles. Shoot, that's just getting broke in for Chevy.
Is that a scratch?
Scratches give character.
The best long-term quality of any full-size pickup belongs to Chevy.
Women like character.
Chevy, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road.
Whew, what'd you step in?
My buddy Dan Moorhead. You know, not long after he won this tournament, Dan married his biggest fan, Jenny Church. And our very best to Dan and Jenny. Next week, the Bassmasters heads for Pine Bluff, Arkansas for the kickoff of the Bassmaster Invitational Trails Central Division. Our cameras will be alongside the pros as they tackle the Arkansas River. Join us right here on TNN Outdoors for all the action. For the Bassmasters, this is Ray Scott, and we'll see you next week.
And I'm just throwing that baby 1- past them and burning it, and the fish will come up from behind them, or just, you never know where they're going to come from. It's just annihilate. It's just like throwing a spinnerbait, but it's got a rattle in it and treble hooks, and just seems to work better. Well, I believe that it's a reaction bite. You can fish the bait real fast. It's got a loud rattle, but it won't go deep enough to get hung up in the grass. A spinnerbait in the clear water and the bright sunshine, they just don't seem to want it as well. They will hit a top water, but there again, they just don't seem to take the bait in as well. And this baby 1-, it's a reaction bite. It triggers them. It's one of the most aggressive strikes that you can imagine. What happens is when the tide goes out, it pulls all that water through that milfoil, and it gets crystal clear. I'd say 95% of the time I'm watching them come out there and eat it, and it's just really a fun way to fish. That might help the cause.
In Fisherman Television, next on TNN Outdoors. TNN, America's Country Home, is a service of CBS Cable. For quality television programs, the address is CBS.
It's about music. Horton Festival 98, August 11th at GTE Virginia Beach Amphitheater. Blues Traveler. Bare Naked Ladies. Paula Cole. Ben Harper and the Innocent Criminals. Alana Davis, Robert Bradley's Blackwater Surprise, and more. Get tickets now at the box office through Ticketmasters or Phone Shop, part of the Miller Lite Concert Series at GTE Amphitheater.
Cox Communications brings world-class entertainment to your home and great values in this month's cable bill. Sign up for service and receive either a free beeper or free voicemail for 6 months from SmartBeep. Redeem this coupon and receive 10% off your next auto service at Settle Motor Corporation. Settle, Virginia's largest Cadillac Oldsmobile dealer. This coupon gives you 5 ways to save on the auto services you need at Randy Hutchinson's Brake King. At Brake King, the customer is number one. Information, value, entertainment, choice. Yours on Cox Communications.
When it comes to fishing, Arkansas really lives up to its reputation as a land of opportunity. From mountain streams to the reservoir lakes to flatland bayous. This state has an incredible amount of freshwater fishing opportunities. And for Bill Dance, Arkansas has become almost a second home for fishing. And tonight, he explores the waters of the fertile Cache River at the famed River Oaks Club. But up next, the pros from In Fisherman Television tackle some finicky walleye. So stay with us.
This is TNN Outdoors.
The basics. How important are they to the sport of angling? Without an understanding of the fundamentals, the fish's nature, its locational patterns, and the best presentation for the situation at hand, an angler is trusting in luck and little more. Today, on the In Fisherman Professional Walleye Trail, we're visiting a body of water that promises to test the pro's grasp of the essentials. Leech Lake in northern Minnesota. The hard-fought battle that occurs here will be an on-the-water seminar of classic walleye fishing techniques with something to offer every angler, from beginner to seasoned pro. To the In Fisherman Professional Walleye Trail, brought to you by the Walleye Insider Magazine, the first and last word in walleye fishing. Join the biggest names in the fastest growing sport in fishing today for the latest in hot new techniques and locations that will make you the best walleye angler you can be.
Look at that.
And now, from the cutting edge of walleye fishing, here's your host for today's show, Tournament Master of Ceremonies, Jim O'Rourke.
Welcome to the Champion Boats Midwest Pro-Am on Leech Lake in northern Minnesota. This is the second of 4 qualifying events on the In Fisherman Professional Walleye Trail. The top 40 anglers by cumulative weight at the end of the year will advance to the championship. The first qualifier on the Mississippi River was a low-scoring affair, so all 130 pros here are still mentally in the season. Leech is a classic walleye lake with tons of shallow structure. It's extremely wind sensitive with whole areas turning on or off depending on wind direction and strength. Leech will demand intelligent strategy from the contestants. We'll be right back to dissect this fantastic body of water after these words.
Even though Dodge Ram is the bright red gold standard of pickup trucks, we're always improving things. We've made our available Magnum V8s even more powerful. We've improved the already world-class interior. In all, we've made 130 improvements to the Ram lineup since introduction, including this one, our new flow-through ventilation system. New Ram Quad Cab. The rules have changed.
Visit your Champion dealer today and see why we're the best by any measure. Welcome back to the Champion Boats Midwest Pro-Am on Leech Lake in northern Minnesota. To understand Leech Lake is to understand classic walleye fishing itself.
Basically, Leech Lake is it's the third largest lake in Minnesota. For one thing, it has over 500 miles of shoreline, and there's the main part of the lake that's shallow, like I say, it's average about 15 feet. There's the other body of water called Walker Bay of Leech Lake, which is the deep part. The water's colder and deeper, and the fish basically in there are also bigger. And a lot of the contestants will be keying on those bigger fish. And the spring has been a little bit late this year, and the bite is a little slower than normal. The water temperatures are behind average, and therefore the cold water bay is not really turned on like it normally would be this time of the year. So we'll have to find out if the guys can pull a fish out of that the colder water.
This lake, along with Mille Lacs, Winnebago, and a handful of other Minnesota and Wisconsin lakes, literally gave birth to most of the modern methods of live bait walleye fishing. Lindy rigs, back trolling, lift drop jigging retrieves, and snap jigging were all pioneered on these bodies of water by legendary guides like Al Lindner and Gary Roach.
I think you have to find the biggest concentrations of fish. Normally when a bite is good, you know, or if they're biting good, you know, you only need 2 or 3 fish in an area, but now you need, I mean, 10, 12 fish in an area, so you're going to get 1 bite or 2 bites.
Today, a new guard of professionals ply these waters. Anglers raised on the technology of modern fish locators, global positioning satellite systems, along with the benefits of in-depth angling publications, videos, television shows, and seminars. And yet, for all the sophistication of these anglers, Leech Lake still presents a formidable challenge, one that demands a keen understanding of the basics, the walleye's nature, its preferred location patterns, and subtle nuances in presentation that spell the difference between having a live well full of walleyes or one full of skunk.
I think probably what it's going to take, if the wind doesn't die down, I think the fish are going to be more scattered, and it's going to have to move and cover some water. If the wind blows like it did today, then hopefully that'll concentrate the fish a little bit, move them up on the structure, and I think probably the weights will be better then.
Wind is important for me. I'm fishing sunken rock points, and that's something I'm commonly used to fishing back home on Mille Lacs, so I have a lot of confidence in that. And the structure is really similar to Mille Lacs. Probably not as drastic, but it's holding some real nice fish.
With the wind blowing in there, I think that just maybe gets the bigger fish more active. And you know, went through a lot of little fish today, and you know, you can catch 15, 20 little fish to 1, you know, legal fish. So hopefully tomorrow I'll just keep plugging away. You know, I learned a lot today, knowing that the big fish are in there with the little fish. You just have to keep plugging away and weeding through the fish to get them.
Leech is known as a wind-oriented lake, yet the calm conditions of the past few days will test the pros' ability to entice the skitterish clearwater walleyes into striking. A tall order, even for the most experienced angler.
If the wind blows, I look for, you know, really a good tournament, a lot of big catches coming in. If the wind does not blow and lays flat, we'll have to go off the edges in a little bit deeper water with live bait rigs and vary our techniques a little bit, and probably the catches will be a little bit smaller.
This event is being held out of the beautiful resort community of Walker, Minnesota. The town has rolled out the red carpet to the pros with special events, contests, and activities for the kids. But the real business at hand is serious. How to extract a winning weight of walleyes from the becalmed waters of this famous lake. We'll be back with the start of the Champion Boats Midwest Pro-Am after these words.
Something in this tackle box has got to work.
Hey, I think I'll try this.
That looks like a good spot over there.
Hey, don't let luck or feelings determine your fishing success. Now you can catch fish like these. Bass, walleye, muskie, northern pike. Just look at that crappie, catfish. I'm so confident that In Fisherman magazine will teach you how to catch more fish more often that I'm going to send you an issue free. That's right, free. Just call 1-800-930-7645 if you like what you read. Hey, I'll send you 6 more issues at a special introductory price of only $1 a month. Plus, I'll send absolutely free the Secret Systems book that unlocks the formula to catching fish consistently. I'll even throw in an In Fisherman decal. Call now, 1-800-930-7645 to get your free issue. Hey, don't depend on luck. Get In Fisherman, and you can catch fish like this.
Major hazard. You left the base without authorization. Proceeded to Burger King and ordered a rodeo burger?
I've served this command for over...
Answer the question! Did you order the rodeo burger?
You're darn right I did. It was flame broiled and delicious.
Burger King salutes small soldiers with a tasty new rodeo burger. Cheese, onion rings, bullseye barbecue sauce. Right now, part of the 99-cent Great Taste menu.
That rodeo burger, it was pretty tasty, huh? You can't handle the rodeo burger.
If you ask us, it just tastes better.
Hi, folks. Jim Stafford here. Looking for something a little different? Just trying to drum up a little business.
This segment of the In Fisherman Professional Walleye Trail is brought to you by the Walleye Insider Magazine, the first and last word in walleye fishing. There's an old proverb in the world of fishing that states 90% of the fish in a lake live in 10% of the water. That concept holds true here on Leech Lake in Minnesota. Anglers have combed through miles of underwater structure to locate the key fish holding areas. There is a mild wind blowing on day one of the event. This makes the shallower main lake reefs and shorelines the odds call. Many pros are using traditional live bait techniques such as the Lindy rig.
Shiner minnows and rainbows. We're using Lindy rigs working up and down off this edge right here. And we're also using about a 12-foot snell.
Others are dragging jigs. Most are trolling or drifting at slow speeds to entice finicky walleyes. A few, like past PWT champion Mark Brumbaugh, are anchored, tossing jigs and minnows into submerged clumps of cabbage weed. Brumbaugh will collect a hard-earned limit of walleyes. Paul Moline of Onamia, Minnesota, is fishing shallow boulders in the Pelican Island area. How shallow? In some cases, he's actually seeing the fish he's catching in the clear water, 4 to 8 feet.
One fish we got was about 5 foot of water. We actually seen the fish before it bit.
These walleyes will capture third position for Paul by the end of the day. Bill Klotzbucher, pro from Watoma, Wisconsin, adeptly pulls Lindy rigs along a key break line near Ottertail Point, one of the major pieces of structure in the lake. He boats 5 fish that will be enough to push him into second place for the day.
Well, these fish relate to these on-winded points, and you've got to take that into consideration when you go out in the morning. If you can't find the proper wind, you're just wasting your time on these points. You'll catch small fish, but you won't catch any decent fish. So you really got to watch. Whatever way the wind blows, that dictates which way you're going to fish.
But leading the charge is the old gray fox himself, Gary Roach of Merrifield, Minnesota. He's fishing rock humps and points on the southeast side of the main lake.
As you know, I love fishing jigs, and we were fishing, I've been fishing fish deep and shallow. I've got 2 patterns going. Fish are scattered right now. They're really hard, you know. I mean, the fish are just here and there, and, you know, they're not schooled up. So you really have to work hard for them, and the guys that are getting some fish are working real hard.
Day 2 finds the wind calm. Not good news for most of the anglers. The main lake fish become even more finicky. Walleyes are being caught. But a consistent pattern is a tough commodity to acquire.
Partner. Whoa!
Gary Roach once again chips away at the rocks, working as diligently as any prospector mining for that elusive vein of gold. Roach digs for the few walleyes that could make him $40,000 richer. Paul Moline is back on his shallow rock pattern. Now, Paul believes that enough fish will move up onto the shallow reefs over the course of the 3-day tournament to win it. Paul is committed to this location for better or worse.
We're halfway through day 2. We just pulled up on Paul Moline. He's just got 2 walleyes in the live well. But Paul's going to grind it out on this one spot. Yesterday, the fish came up late. He caught a bunch, and he weighed a nice limit. If he can do the same today, he'll position himself for a run at the title tomorrow.
Dan Steer has a section of shoreline to himself. He patiently pulls live bait along the deep break line. He's only able to boat 3 keeper fish on day 2, but in the becalmed waters of Leech Lake, these 3 fish are enough to propel him into first place. Gary Roach can only boat 1 3-pound walleye, but 3 pounds secures second place for Gary, who is followed closely by Paul Moline, who pulled 2 fish from the shallow rocks. One of the few anglers concentrating on the deeper sections of Walker Bay is last year's Lake of the Woods winner, John Peterson of Bemidji, Minnesota. John brings in 5 fish for 12.5 pounds and lays claim to 4th place going into the final day of competition. Day 3 will pit the experience and prowess of Gary Roach against the other anglers in the field. In reality, the slow bite dictates that any angler in the top 20 or so places has a legitimate shot at going home with a champion boat and a big check. And now, from the pages of the Walleye Insider magazine, here's the Hot Topics department. One of the main differences between a walleye boat and a bass boat is the hull and keel design.
The walleye boat traditionally has a deeper V than a traditional bass boat, and also reinforced sides and a higher gunnel than the bass boat. We have more storage in the walleye boat than the bass boat and a larger live well to accommodate larger fish.
A walleye boat must not only get to the location quickly, but the boat itself often becomes part of the presentation. The deep V design of the hull does a couple of important things. First, it helps keep the boat on track while maneuvering over tightly defined structure. It holds a line at slow trolling speeds. This is critical when attempting to navigate a specific depth contour. Another key but less often discussed feature that a deep V hull offers is a more consistent drift. Drifting with the wind or controlled drifting with the aid of a trolling motor is bread and butter to rigging and other basic walleye presentations. A flat or smooth bottom boat would tend to spin and be difficult to work from. In walleye fishing especially, the right boat not only gets you to your fishing spot in style, it literally helps you catch the fish once you get there. You can find more useful facts and cutting-edge information packed into every In-Fisherman Walleye Insider magazine. Plus, you get the latest PWT tournament updates and hot new techniques from the professional walleye trail pros. For more information on the In-Fisherman Walleye Insider magazine, call toll-free 1-888-WALLEYE. Stay tuned for the rocky final day of the Champion Boats Midwest Pro-Am after these words.
Gentlemen, start your engine!
All over America, no matter what kind of lawn and garden tools people use, more people choose to protect those engines with Lubramatic. That's because Lubramatic is specially formulated to protect small engines. For the lawnmower, the chainsaw, the weed whacker, and more, no one protects and lubes better than Lubramatic lubricants and lubrication equipment. For the best in lubrication protection, people who know say,
Lubramatic is automatic.
Every angler dreams of it. Sure, it's the fish, the satisfaction, but it's also the moment, the memory. When quality gear at a good value is important, you'll find it here in the Walleye Angler Catalog. Call 1-800-6-WALLEYE now for your free catalog. Walleye Angler, the fishing specialist catalog.
He never wrote a book. He never held an office. He never did any of the things that usually accompany greatness. Yet all the kings that ever reigned and all the governments that ever sat have not had so much impact as that single solitary life. Now you can share the events of his remarkable ministry when you watch this free video, The Lamb of God. It's a gift from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. This powerful video depicts events from the life of Jesus Christ, as recorded in the King James Version of the Holy Bible. As you watch scenes of his birth, teaching, trial, death, and resurrection, you will better understand how his life can change yours. Call now for your free copy of The Lamb of God. It's a gift without cost or obligation from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
It's the last hurrah for this year's Champion Boats Midwest Pro-Am of the In-Fisherman Professional Walleye Trail. The leaders make last-minute adjustments to their strategies.
I'm using 4-pound test line, which seems to be really a key. And when I'm around the other boats, I mean, I can go in and I can take 3-4 fish pretty quick and watch other people just sit there and not even get bit. So 4 pounds is a big key. And secondly, I'm using a real light jig, so I'm getting far enough behind the boat. I'm not fishing vertical in the shallower water. And I'm twitching my rod tip every 5-6 feet. I'll give it a couple twitches, and then I'll just pull it along real slow.
The spot I have is really, really important to have some wind like a couple other guys out there. And jig fishing with the minnows, fishing the ledges and the big boulders.
Once again, the anglers hoping for wind are disappointed. But conditions like these make for a volatile race to the finish. Any pro in the top 30 who can put together a limit of respectable walleyes could walk away with $40,000 in prizes, including the new Champion Walleye boat. Leader Dan Steer begins working the deep sunken rock humps in Walker Bay. But so far, the fish aren't home. Fourth place angler John Peterson also works the structure in the deep bay. Nobody home here either. On the Pelican Reef Rocks in the main lake, third place pro Paul Moline of Onamia, Minnesota, and his amateur partner for the day, John Johnson of Richfield, Minnesota, are faring better. Paul skillfully maneuvers around the shallow boulders, tossing jigs and minnows at the crevices and pockets for hungry walleyes. It's a finesse presentation that demands patience and precision.
It seems the fish are actually burrowed in the rocks. They're actually in the crevices of the rocks. They're not up tight against it or on top. The fish are actually inside the rocks.
Gary Roach, perched menacingly in second place, once again picks through the shoreline rocks on the southeast side of the lake. The big wind he's seeking has eluded him so far. Consequently, the big fish are not active on Roach's location. Yet. Other shoreline rock anglers like Cambridge, Minnesota pro Bruce Sampson in 11th place are picking up a walleye here and a walleye there. But without wind, these locations can be hit and miss. Many of the anglers have elected to fish a deep break line off of Ottertail Point, where a large school of walleyes is distributed. These fish, too, are affected by the calm conditions, but not as much as the rockfish have been. This advantage is offset by the heavy boat traffic in this well-known location. In a good strategic maneuver, Iowa pro Dale Dykes, currently holding down 8th place, and his amateur partner, Tom Katoski of Woodbury, Minnesota, moved to the perimeter of the large pack of boats. This move means walleyes in the live well.
We're halfway through the final day, and Dale Dykes is starting to emerge out of the pack. He's got 3 walleyes in the boat already for about 10 pounds, and it could get him this tournament.
All through tournament, I've been using 10, 12-foot snell, using shiners, and what I've been keying on is anywhere from 18 to 22 foot of water, catching the big fish out in the mud.
If Dale can keep putting fish in the boat, he will be a formidable threat at weigh-in. Paul Moline's patience and skill at fishing shallow rocks once again pays dividends in the form of a nice 3-pound Leech Lake walleye. 5th place angler Mark Brumbaugh is fishing clumps of deep cabbage weed in Portage Bay. He weeds through more small fish to hopefully find the few that count. There's wisdom in the old saying, be careful what you pray for, you just might get it. It looks like anglers hoping and praying for the wind to blow are about to get their wish big time. The storm blows across the lake about mid-afternoon when the first flight of anglers have to head back for weigh-in. Can a blow this severe do any good for the fishing or just create havoc for the pros and the tournament staff? Well, guess what? The anglers who were able to weather the storm and keep fishing seem to have struck pay dirt. Baskets of big Leech Lake walleyes are coming to the docks, something that has not happened for the first 2 days of the tournament. This could shake up the standings. Paul Moline's one big rockfish puts him into the lead for a short stint. But Chris Gilman, winner of the last PWT event on the Mississippi River, comes in with 3 nice walleyes to take his turn as king of the mountain. Gary Roach is in, but did the wind help Gary contact the active rockfish he was looking for? Hold on, folks. Roach puts 3 good walleyes in the basket.
Let's bring on up our first day leader, Gary Roach from Merrifield, Minnesota, folks, and Reg Collins from Calgary, Canada. Big hand for Gary. You only need a little over 4 pounds to take the lead, and there aren't that many guys back there left to weigh.
Sounds good to me.
The Golden Horseshoe may be the real Golden Horseshoe. We will see.
Beverly looks a little nervous now.
Beverly's been nervous since Monday when she heard you get in the lead. She went, no, I can't believe it. Away she comes. 3 really nice fish, too, folks. The scale will tell. Let's run it up. Current leader, Gary Roach, 6.45 pounds. You're in the lead. Good job, Gary.
Gary Roach slides into first place by a comfortable 2.5 pounds. But comfort is luxury seldom afforded on the professional walleye trail. Dale Dykes, consistent competitor from Leon, Iowa, is the last contestant to have a shot at Roach's formidable lead. Dale was in 8th place at the beginning of the day.
Let's welcome up from Leon, Iowa, Dale Dykes. Tom Katoski from Woodbury, Minnesota, his amateur partner. Dale Dykes hopped in his boat this morning and took off, and you were in 8th place when we left this morning.
8th place, yeah.
You bring 4 fish to the waste stand with you.
Yeah, we got 3 right away at 9:30 this morning, and then worked hard for the last one.
You need about 10.34 to win the tournament, Dale. You think you might have it?
I hope so.
Hold them up. Let the folks see them. Here we go. 10.34. What do you think? Who thinks he's got 10.34 in there? Stand by. It's between Mr. Roach and Mr. Dykes, and here we go, folks. Let's roll it for the victory. A 12.83. There's your winner. Take it away, Dale. Your champion, Dale Dykes.
Dale Dykes pulls off the upset win with some good strategy and the right presentation. This is Dale's first win on the professional walleye trail, but probably not his last. Amateur winner is Greg McConville of Clive, Iowa. A good day for the Iowegians. Big fish for the tournament is a beautiful 7.2-pound walleye caught on day 3 by Andy Cuffer of Fairhaven, Michigan. Coleman Cool Under Pressure Award goes to Tom Backer of Fargo, North Dakota, who advanced 66 places from day 1, thanks mostly to a limited fish caught after the storm on the last day. We'll be right back with more from the Champion Boats Midwest Pro-Am after these words.
So many fish. So little time. That's why Kmart and the Bass Anglers Sportsman Society have joined in an exclusive partnership to give you the know-how and the gear that can be the difference between fishing and catching fish. BASS and Kmart. We're talking serious fishing here.
How come the leading oil filter material stops less dirt than Mobil 1's filter material? That's how come the Mobil 1 oil filter. Nothing stops dirt better. Available at AutoZone or call for the retailer nearest you.
After 2 events on the trail, Mosinee, Wisconsin pro Chris Gilman is leading the race for the In-Fisherman Angler of the Year title based on cumulative weight over the course of the season.
Well, that's it, folks, from Leech Lake and Walker. Next up on the professional walleye trail, the big water and big fish of Lake St. Clair in Michigan. We'll see you then.
Bill Dance Outdoors, next on TNN Outdoors.
Hi, everybody. I'm Dan Deardorff. Where would you go for a home equity loan?
Well, banks have the best rates.
But banks only lend money when you don't need it.
Advana National Bank is different.
Got to move all your accounts there.
Nope, just call Advana. One of their loan specialists will show you how to use the equity in your home to pay off all of your bills. Get one low monthly payment and save hundreds of dollars a month, plus a tax deduction. Call Advanta at 1-800-580-1015. You don't need to have money in the bank to get money from a bank.
Hi, folks. It's time for the Croc Pop Quiz. Is the crocodile hunter the 7th Spice Girl, a needle-nosed guy with a flannel hat, a fearless guy who rescues crocodiles and lives on Animal Planet? What is Animal Planet? That hairy planet next to Mercury, your brother's fraternity. Its very own cable channel with lots of entertaining shows like the Crocodile Hunter. So how do you get to Animal Planet? Ask your dog. Call NASA. Check your listings for Animal Planet. Right again. Watch the Crocodile Hunter on Animal Planet every Sunday and Monday at 9 p.m. See you there.
Hey, y'all hang around, because later tonight, we're headed for Richmond, Virginia for some heart-stopping, foot-stomping action from the PBR Bud Light Cup circuit. I mean, these guys are nuts. You've got to watch them, if for no other reason than to see what they'll do to stay on top of a bull. But right now, Bill Dance is working some favorite fishing holes for largemouth bass. He's on the Cache River at the famous River Oaks Club in Arkansas. So keep it right here on the home of the experts, TNN Outdoors.
Now the sun is just starting to climb up over the treetops. And it's gonna be a beautiful day, that's plain to see. But I won't be around at all, so don't even bother to call. 'Cause on a day like today, there's one place I gotta be. Gone fishing.
Bill Dance Outdoors. Sponsored by Walmart. Always low prices. Always Walmart. Always. Quantum Fishing Tackle. At Quantum, fishing is a contact sport. Procraft Boats. Anything worth doing is worth doing right. Mercury Outboards. Only Merc lets you set the water on fire. And by Excalibur. World-class lures.
Now I've gone fishing with Bill Dance today.
Hey, I'm here to clear up the confusion on the new dance contest. See, it's a Bill Dance contest. Buy a stowaway battery, and you get a free catch and release camera. Send in your favorite outdoor picture, and the winner goes fishing with yours truly. The stowaway's got 850 cranking amps and get me where I want to go every time. You think I ought to tell these guys it's not that kind of a dance contest? Nah. Horizontal jigging, Excalibur style.
Suspending a crankbait, making bass bite.
Here's the lures that do it best.
My favorites are the suspending Excalibur Shad R's. Their live shad finish look real, and to structure depths of 8 feet, they're the best.
The suspending Excalibur fat-free shads are my choice. Depending upon the size, they let me fish deep structure to 17 feet.
Excalibur Shad R.
Excalibur fat-free shad.
The best tools of the suspending technique.
Shad R. Fat-free shad.
Suspending spot.
What?
Shad R.
Shut up.
Come on, son, let's go fishing.
Sure, Dad. You think our lunch will be okay?
That'll be fine. There's nobody around here for miles. Come on.
Hey, what's that? Let's go.
Dad, what happened to our food?
The bears, son. It had to be the bears.
New Realtree Extra, America's most versatile camo pattern.
Finally, there's an easy way to catch more fish. The Fish Block Fish Attractant System. First, you tie off the fish block and drop it in the water. Then you broadcast Fish Block Fish Chum 10 to 20 feet around the area. Once the fish find the feeding block, you've created a natural feeding area. When you're ready to fish, broadcast the chum again to create a fishing frenzy. So ask for Fish Block products wherever you buy tackle and start catching more fish. Whoa, buddy, coming around. Oh, that's a nice fish. There we go. Boy. Ate that little bug up too, didn't you, old boy? That nice. Yes. All right, we'll put you back. Put you back, pretty thing. There we go. Woo! What a great way to get things started. Okay, you know, I think it would be accurate in saying that most bass fishermen have a pet lure. I know I certainly do. Mine would have to be the jig and pork combination, like the one I'm using today. It's called a Bitsy Bug Jig. It's weedless, it weighs 1/16 of an ounce, and attached to the hook is a baby bowhog frog chunk trailer. There's no question in my mind that this combination will produce fish 12 months of the year in a stained to clear water environment. If you were down below where the fish are, you would see this creature swimming with an up and down motion that looks as real as anything alive. Its natural fluid movement is what makes it so appealing, and it's real hard, very hard, for even an inactive bass to reject it if fished at the proper depth and location. Jig fishing requires concentration and sensitive hands to any changes in resistance of the jig as it swims and hops along. Anytime you feel even a faint degree of lessening or increased tension, it's smart to set the hook. Whoa. Ooh, baby. Whoop, I'm turning around again. I got to. Where you going? Where you going? Yes. All right, you through? Oh. I'll tell you what, that's some nice fish. Real nice. Big old potted thing. Okay, see you. Wow. Boy, this place has got some fine fish in it. Woo! I'll tell you something I think is real important. You want to be a line watcher. Make it a practice to be a line watcher. Watch where the line enters the water. Should it get a little tight or move laterally, what you want to do is bust him. This is because when a fish takes a jig, it's rarely a jarring strike, as with other types of lures. Many times it's just a little old bitty faint tick. Sometimes you don't really feel anything. You just feel a little resistance, or you see that line starting to move off. That's exactly what happened on that last fish. I didn't really feel the strike. I felt a little tension, and I eased up, and I saw my line going off to the right. Bass can take this offering so gently. All they do is simply open their mouth, flare their gills at the same instant, and the jig disappears in their mouth. Now, I've witnessed this on many different occasions, and let me tell you, it's really a sight to see.